Okay, so the recording has started again. There was some issue with my space of the hard drive. So this is the topology, and today what we are going to do is we will enable Ospf between these these devices. So, and first we'll do using CLI, and then we'll also do the same thing using VManage, right? And we'll see how it can be done in both the methods, and we will see if it reaches to the other sites, etc. So let's go to the first site itself. We'll through CLI we are going to configure this. Hope you guys can see the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's do the show run and see what is the private VPN site subnet is 133. This okay. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to VPN 17 and I'll say router Ospf, whatever number that I want to say basically, or I'll say router Ospf area 0. Okay, anything else that I want to configure? Nothing really at this time. That's good enough for me. Router ID will pick up from there. And I'll just say commit the changes. So that's all right. I'm putting this private VPN interface into area 0, and I don't need to give network command because these days on the interface level command you give area 0 and it basically starts advertising that. So as simple as that, right? 2 commands. Now let's go to this device and configure on this side also. Show run. I think I have given a default route which I'll remove now. IP, or let's say no. And I will remove this route so that we can just configure router Ospf 100 network 133.110.255.255.255.0. You can use wildcard or you can use subnet mask, one of the same thing here. Right, I've given the subnet mask, it will be converted to the wildcard. Let me show you. Right, so it is converted to the wildcard. So it doesn't matter, you can give wildcard or subnet mask, it will convert it itself. So let's see if our neighborship is show IP Ospf neighbor. The neighborship is still not up. Router Ospf 100 network is this is the ping 133.1.1.1 and 2. I can ping both. My reachability is fine. Debug IP Ospf packet. So from other side, any response, no response is coming. So we'll go back to this device. Here it is. Show run VPN 17. Let's see. Oh, so I had to go to VPN 17. Sorry. VPN 17. Interface gigabit 00. Sorry, what was it? 01. Perfect. Ospf. Router Ospf interface. Let's see. Area 0. Interface. I forgot to give interface that time. So gigabit 01. That's all.
As we are already in VPN 17, so it will not pick automatically?
No, VPN 17 can have multiple interfaces on the private side.
Okay.
Right, you have gigabit 01, tomorrow you add another subnet, tomorrow you add another subnet. So you have to define which subnet out of that you want to, or which interface should be participating. That's a value we missed. Right, you see that here, it has come now. show IP route, show IP OSPF neighbor. Now we can see that the route is advertised, right? The neighborship is formed, sorry. No route is advertised. We have not created any route. So I'll just give it a name, host, router, and site 23. I'll create a couple of loopbacks, interface loopback 3.1.1.1, 255.255.255.0, interface loopback 2, IP address 3.2.2.1, and I'll go to interface loopback 3, IP address 3.3.3.1, and I'm going to advertise these into the OSPF. So network 3.3.0.0, sorry, 3.1.1.0. I'll do it like this, area 0, and then 3.2.2. And then I'll go into 3.3. Cool. So do you think these routes should be now should reach up to all the locations? Because I'm just running routing protocol between these two. There is no OSPF here, there is no OSPF here, there is no OSPF here, there is no routing protocol here. Do you think these routes will reach to these locations? If I just run routing protocol here between these two devices, do you think that these routes will reach to everybody?
No.
Right? So
Might
let's
be.
go and check here. We will go to site 22 and we'll see here what has happened to this guy. I'll go to this guy. Show IP route. Let's check the routes are there or not. And you see that the routes are actually there.
Because
Right?
of OMP, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So the process is Cisco has taken care of the internal routing between the devices using OMP protocol. You just configure whatever you want to configure, whether it is your static routes, whether they are directly connected. OMP will redistribute them to everybody in VPN 17, not in any other VPN, in your VRF, right? Any doubt or confusion here? So no matter where you have, if you just run anything here, even if it is just a static route, but these routes, if you need to have these routes, you need to either configure multiple static routes or you run routing protocol like we are running here. Right? Very easy fundamental. Similarly, same stuff is for BGP. Now, this is a routing protocol we are running on the service side. What about VPN 0? If you have MPLS or something else and you want to run that with your ISP, or you have a BGP on this side and you want to run that. So routing protocols are also supported same routing protocols are also supported on the transport side also. But mostly we use them for the internal side because this is what we want to be routed. As soon as we connect some private networks here, we want them to be reaching to all the sites in VPN 17. Correct? Any confusion, any doubt? So what was happening is that when we advertise this to OSPF, these routes essentially got redistributed in OMP itself. And how did that happen? Let's go to this one. Show OMP. Sorry, show run OMP. You see that by default, these are the routes which are advertised, and OSPF internal routes are not shown here, but they are also advertised. By default, those are also advertised. So, but OSPF external routes are not advertised. if we want to advertise external routes, basically advertising means redistribute. If we want to redistribute external routes, right, in that case, we have to give this command here, OMP advertise question mark. Here we have Ospf. By default, internal routes are advertised, so only external routes need to be advertised. I'm not going to give this command right now because what I want to show you here is I'll first go to, I'll convert these routes, private routes here. This one. And I'm going to take them off of the network statement, all these routes. I'll remove this. I'm not going to remove the third one. I'll keep the third one here. Right? 3.3.3.0 is internally advertised, but these are, I'm going to remove them. And these routes, I'm going to redistribute into Ospf. So router, here, router Ospf 100, redistribute what? Connected. Right? Subnets. Now these routes should be coming as what? External routes. Right? These routes I have removed 1 and 2. 3 is not removed, right? 3 is not removed. So let's go to this vEdge again and see that these routes were coming, right? 333, 322, 311. What is that I have removed? I have removed these two from internal routes. I'm still advertising this. But these are now external routes of Ospf because they are getting redistributed into Ospf. So let's go back again and see. You see that what has happened? 1 and 2 are gone. Only 333 is there. Guys, any doubt, any confusion here? So the simple formula is that OMP will redistribute connected, static, and Ospf internal routes. Ospf external routes are not advertised by default. If we want those routes to reach to site 16 here, right, whatever that site is, this is where? Wait a minute, I think I'm on the wrong device. Let's go to this device. vEdge 17 is our device. Show route. Show IP route. Okay, so this site I think is not connected. We'll go to this. Last time also it was not connected. Show IP route. You see that? Only this route is available. Let's see what happens with site 17. He doesn't have VPN 17. 18 has. 16 has. Other sites have, right? But he doesn't have. That's the reason it will not come on this particular thing. So only this particular route is available, right? The 311 and 322 is not coming. Why? Because of the OMP default properties, right? Because of OMP default properties. So what do we do to make them advertise here? I'll just go to give the same command, which is advertise Ospf external routes. And I'll just say this and commit the changes, right? At site 23. So I'll just go here and we'll go to site 18, vEdge 18 to see if these routes are available now. We see that what has happened, these routes are there. What was the status 1 minute back? Only 333 was there, 311 and 322 was not there. Why? Because we advertise these routes as external routes. We said redistribute connected these interfaces. But 333, I did not remove it from network command, so that was an internal route. So it came fine. This doesn't require anything because Ospf internal routes are redistributed by default.
Come again. Why these other routes are not advertised? 3 is advertised.
Because of the default properties of OMP. OMP will advertise Ospf internal routes by default. To all
OSPF
the OMP.
internal means not E1, E2. It's just intra-area or inter-area.
Correct, correct.
Okay.
External routes, you have to then give this particular command here, then only these routes will be advertised. If we do not say advertise OSPF external, these routes will not be advertised in the OMP. That means all other sites will not receive these routes. Guys, any doubt or any confusion? It's a very important concept. What you are basically learning in this is how does OMP protocol work? So OMP takes care of the routing by default between all the devices. Routes will be redistributed or distributed to all the OMP sites in the same VPN service. If it is VPN 17, they will be sent to VPN 17. If it is 18, it will be 18. But you can also do route leaking from 17 to 18, which is a different concept altogether. But default behavior is any route at one particular site will be sent to everybody who has that site number, which is service VPN number, same service VPN, which in our case that is 17. You see that all the routes that I have are from 17 because 17 is the only site configured as of now. Or I have VPN 0 routes, which are basically my transport side. If I configure 18 and put some interface into 18, it will be it. I can create a loopback interface and put it in 18. That's absolutely fine, just for the testing. I can create sub interfaces out of it and put them into the next VPN, right? Any VPN. Guys, any doubt, confusion? Because this is the core of OMP now. So this is how we do the CLI side of configuration of OSPF on the service VPN side. Now let's go to the VManage and see how do we do it in the device profile. So we'll go to our templates. And this is our 17, this is 16, right? 16 is configured, working well also. So I will basically pick site number 16 and we have configured it on site number 16 only. VH16 site 22. It's the same device in our topology where I have configured OSPF. It's the same thing. I'm going to configure same stuff, but using the templating mechanism. No, I think, what was it? The template is attached. So that means it's not the, because if I have template attached, I should not have access to do, remember that, I should not have access to do CLI configuration. Correct? So if we,
You mean if we are doing any device by template, we can't do with the CLI?
That is correct. You can only run show commands. So it is, you see that VH is 23, not 22. Because if it was 22, 22 has the CLI template applied, we cannot do any CLI configuration if you have the device template. There is only one method possible basically out of all three. CLI template, CLI or device template. You can choose only one of the method at one time. If you apply the templates, in that case, you go to the device itself and it will not work for us. Let's try this here. So I'll go to this device, I'll say config t VPN 0 interface, whatever, right? Gigabit interface, gigabit 0. And I'll try to come out here and okay, I did not make any change. So let's go to this VPN 0 interface gigabit interface gigabit 00. I'll say shut and no shut. Sorry, I'll say shut. and I'll try to commit the change. You see that? System is VManage. This device is being managed by VManage, so you cannot do any CLI configuration. But you can do show commands you can run on it. Most of the show commands will work. But configuration part, if a device is being managed by VManage, you will not be able to do any configuration part. So device can be managed only using one of the method. If you have configured it using one method, you cannot use the second method to manage the device. Any confusion? When you try to go to the CLI, you see that it's giving us an error message. You can also do, I'll say no or no changes. And I do show system status. And you will see that the device is managed by VManage. If it is not, it will say it's not true. That means the device is managed using CLI method. Even if you are using CLI template in VManage, the method is still VManage. Right? VManage has two methods to manage the device: CLI templates and device templates. Then you have the third method, which is a manual method of CLI. So if those two methods are being used, CLI template or device template, this is going to be true. Guys, any doubt or confusion about this? Right? You've seen the error message here very clearly. So let's go to this device here and we will create a template for it, a device template for it. So let's create a feature template here for VH23. I'm going to pick up this one and I'll say VH23. I'm going to keep these as default settings. No need to change anything. This is the thing where I want to do a configuration change. So VPN 0. This is VPN 0, name and all that. I don't want to configure anything right now. What is that I want to basically do is I want to advertise external routes for sure, right? Because that's what we want to achieve. So here, and then let's see, do we have, I also want to give default route, right? Otherwise I'll lose the connectivity to my ISP side. So let's say 000 /0 and next hop, add the next hop. We'll check what is the next hop. I don't remember. So we'll go to this device again and we'll go to this one. Not this one, this one. Show IP route. This is my default gateway. 123.1.1.1. So 123.1.1.1. Add. So I've added the default gateway here and service GRE IPsec. By default is IPsec, so we don't need to do anything. Advertise. What I've done is just I said in this that do this. Also the static and this is by default, so you should always have it. And rest is basically Ospf internal routes are selected are by default there, so you have to just choose the internal routes. See that inter area and intra area routes are always advertised irrespective of this command. Okay, so let's say Omp cannot be configured. Okay, so we have to do it for in the VPN 17 side, right? So this is wrong. Let's save this and say create. I think I have to go back. I forgot to add the interface itself. So let's go to this guy, and the next item that I want to do is I want to add an interface. So this is where I will give VPN 23 interface VPN 0. So this is the interface assigned for VPN 0. Let's go to global. No shut the interface. Shutdown is no shut. Interface is gigabit E00. Okay, and description, I don't want to give right now. IP is going to be static. I'll say device specific. We'll configure it later. Okay, tunnel interface. Yes. Do you want to terminate IPsec VPN tunnel on this? Yes, because it is VPN 0. Tunnels are always terminated on VPN 0. What is the color that you want to use for it? I can choose right now. Anything is fine. But when we do advanced TLOC, we will see TLOC extension and all that. Advanced TLOC practical, we will actually see all these commands meaning also. Restrict, I'll just tell you right now that restrict is if you have restrict model, in that means that it will only form tunnel with those who are running the color as biz internet. But right now no restrict, which means the other can be internet, could be 4G, could be any of these values. It will not have any problem in this metro, ethernet, silver, private, whatever color you want. It will not have any problem with that. Right? If you say restrict, then only it will have problem. If you say restrict off, no problem about anything else. These are all fine. I don't need to do anything. No, I have to, I need to do something about this, right? I have to do this. VPN 23. I will post SSH and this is off. So I'll come back on this and I'll do the editing part of it. So let's go back to this one. And then we'll say VPN number, that private VPN side we want to add. And this is also important. In skinny configuration, you don't require VPN 512, but here for sure we require VPN 512. So I'll just choose this one, VPN 512 template, and I'll add an interface here, which is going to be anything is fine. Adding this, anything is fine here. So let's go to the next one here. And here I'll choose VPN 17 template, right? Because here also we have VPN 17, and I'll say VPN interface, and I'll create a new template for it. I'll say VPN 17 for vEdge 23. Then we'll go to this interface status. I'll say no shut. Interface name is GE01. Okay, description nothing. IP address yes, but not here. We'll say this here. Tunnel interface no. It's never on the, it's always on the public interface side, so never on the tunnel side. Netting I want to do nothing right now. No VRRP, no ACL and QoS, and I'll just go ahead and do save here. Okay, just give me 1 minute, guys. Okay, so I'm back here. What is the last item left? VPN 17 is what we configured, so nothing left as of now. right? Banner, any internal security policy, nothing. SNMP security policy and QS policy, nothing. So just say, okay. Cool. I'll just go to feature because I remember that in the VPN interface 0, forgot to. This is the one or this is the one. SSH is required. Netconf is required. These are, otherwise I'll lose the access to everything. And I'll say and update it. All good. I'll go to device template now and I will say this is the template that we have created. Attach it to the device now. So vEdge23 is where we are going to attach it. It will ask for those parameters. So VPN4, let's click on it. Which is it? Gigabit 01, right? So what is the thing? 133.111/24. That's IP. This side 123.112/24, right? Host name is vEdge23 as given in the top also. System IP is also given 23.23.23.23. These are, it's picking these values from site is 23. Let me verify this IP, this side IP, or maybe this one 133.111. So let's go to this guy. I don't want to lose connectivity by giving wrong IP addresses, so it's a good idea to verify second time. My side IP is 123.112 and this VPN 17 side is 111. Perfect. Right, so 111 and 112 on the side. Perfect. So let's say update. Next, let's see the configuration difference, which shouldn't be there much of it, but we'll still would like to see. Right, so side by side, you see that it gives this command called domain ID, and password is almost same. This is actually, the yellow is the thing which is basically same. Red is something that is gone. VPN 17. Okay. So you know what happens in this is I have to actually go and remove these services, because actually, I have enabled, and I think this is also, let's see which one is which one.
But on the router, we did not add the Ospf configuration, right?
We have not added as of now. I'm just configuring a device template. On this vEdge, we have not added, right? Because CLI, it will not pick up the CLI side.
No, yeah, but why it is showing us the Ospf configuration, that VPN 17?
Because that is what we did in CLI. Remember that. This is we configured in CLI. So it is showing that in your new configuration, it will be all removed.
But we did in newly add VPN Edge, where you just add the static route last week and this week you add the.
So I'm doing everything on the same. vEdge23 is the new one, and I'm doing all the configuration. Today the CLI lab also we did it on the same device.
Okay. I thought it's different.
Okay, but the thing I did is today, I configured this VPN 17 template. I used this one from the old one. I did not create my new one for this particular device. So it is picking up from my previous labs, service chaining, adding firewalls and load balancers, etc. It is picking up from here. So what I'll do is I'll just go to either I can say go ahead, then we'll come back and configure our Ospf. But let's see if everything else is fine. IP route, I don't need this route. Interface gigabit 01. Oh, it did not have. How is it possible that there was no default route on this? No, it was there. It was there. And here IP route 000. It has. I'm not sure why it has not picked up the IP address, because I remember I have given the IP address there. So that's fine till the time it is pointing toward VPN 0. We should be all good. It's 0. This is the IP address 172.16. This is for what? The management VPN, right? VPN 512. This also came from where? Okay, this is a problematic thing, guys. Remember that 512 and 17, I will cancel this one, because 512 and 17 I have taken from the other one. So I should, and the other one has a fixed IP. So two devices cannot have same management IP, correct? So that is something wrong. I did not, just for the laziness, what I did is I went to this and I did not create a new one. So I'm going to create a new one for 512 so that, and VPN 512, which is management VPN, is mandatory, not in CLI, but in VManage. Edge 23. Interface, I don't want it to be, and device specific, I'll say, yeah, device specific for this guy. Description, nothing. IP address, I'll say this, and what was it? Interface name, I have to basically say here itself, ETH0. Description not required. Static IP address is required. Tunnel is not there. It's not a public interface to terminate. Netting and all these are not applicable to management interface. Right, and then this is configured. VPN interface is fine. VPN 17, and VPN 17, what I did is, there also I created a issue. So I'm going to create a new one here, because it is picking up my services from that load balancers and firewalls from the previous lab that I did. So 17 for V Edge 23. This is what I want to select. Okay, VPN 0. Name, I don't care about name, so I'm said keep it default. Or let's leave it. Right now, we have not done any Ospf, so we'll not worry about it. I'm going to use this one. Global, so 0000/0. Next hop is, I can set a device specific also, but I'll say 123.1.1.1. My side is 2. Okay. Add. So this is done, and let's see if it has picked up the IP. It has picked up the IP. No IPv6, no GRE, no IPsec, no netting. Description, I think I forgot to give. No. Name. Default. Saved. Okay, so this is now perfect. Everything is perfect. Let's configure our OSPF also with this. Or let's come back to this later. What I'll do is I'll just go and apply this template so that there are no errors first, and then we build on something advanced. So VH23. Let's see which interface, gigabit 01. So what was the IP? 123, sorry, 133.1.1.1/24. Okay, which is this interface? Management. So I'll add anything here. 23.19. This side, gigabit 00. So 123.1.1.2. vEdge is 23. Site is this, and site ID is this. System IP and site ID. Okay, update. Next, let's verify if the config has any problems, because if there is any problem, it will show you here. Then we say config difference side by side, and we'll see what is the new thing added. Or Ospf, this is Ospf was configured by us. It is going to remove all that. Allow services, fine. IP route, this time you see that IP route is correctly configured. Same thing. And this configuration, why is it complete VPN 17 is not visible? VPN 17, even interfaces and everything else is not even visible here. So that is looking a little scary. What is it? Yeah, it's not visible here. So let's go back to that. And I'll go back to this guy. Edit the template. Service VPN. See that? Service VPN number. Did I create a new one? Okay. So I want to create a new one here. VPN 17 for vEdge 23. VPN number is going to be 17. Name is default. Any of these items required? Nothing really. Save it. Okay, so this is the interface is already there. Interesting. So I'll just go to this and we'll see what it is. This, let's see this one. So that's a wrong interface configured. That is where the problem is. Here, this was for Edge 23. See that this is where I made a mistake, right? It should not be VPN. The name which is given is wrong. The name given there is wrong. So this is, it should be transport 0, right? So I have given a wrong name there. Is this I configured just now, or this I just configured and update? Let's see that now. If the configuration looks fine, then we'll apply it. So that's the reason a written, everything has to be there and a check mark so that we don't miss out on anything. This one, and that's a very good thing of these devices, that it can remember this, so we don't need to worry about putting these values again and again. config difference side by side. VPN 0. VPN 0, what happened to this guy? Nothing under VPN 0. Okay. VPN 17 now has the gigabit interface and the IP is correct and no shutdown. So that's fine. But what we have lost here is VPN 0. So let's go to this and check what is the problem. Transport. This is, I think this is where I made some type of mistake. VPN 23, VPN 0. Yeah. Okay, so 23. Update. Okay, so VPN 0 is all correct now. The right template is applied to it. And VPN 17 also has the interface and correct IP address. No routing protocol, and the VPN 512 has correct things. So absolutely no problems. I just forgot to see the default route again. I think I have to verify if I have given default route correctly or not. Okay, everything is fine. Let's go to the device template. There are no errors also, right? So this is absolutely fine. No errors whatsoever. We should again go to CLI to verify if everything is fine on this side. So show IP route and show run. Right, that's good. So this is there. Ping 123.1.1.2. I can ping him. So my ISP is reachable. Then my show control connections. Okay, this is correct. So VWAN, VManage, and vSmart all are connected. So this is a verification for any new device that comes up. Any device you try to turn on, the first thing that you have to do is show control connections. All new VEdges should be connected to all these devices. Otherwise, you have an issue with the VPN 0 connectivity. Your transport link has some errors or issues. Okay, we'll go back to VEdge, what was it, 18? And here we'll see again if those routes are coming, although we are not advertising, but just for the sake of it, we'll see if those routes are coming or not. See that 3.3. routes are not there. 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, those subnets are not visible here. So what do? We go to VManage. We go to the templates again. Okay, I'll go to this guy again and then I'll modify it, edit. And where do we have to turn on the routing protocol? Here in service VPN number 17, right? What is that in the CLI we did? We did the exactly same stuff. We said router VPN 17, interface this, and router Ospf 100. So I am going to add, now these are the protocols available. Ospf, multicast, IGMP, BGP, and the newer version I told you you have. EIGRP also available now in the newer versions. So I'm going to turn on the Ospf here. Ospf 1 template is there, but I want to create a new one for you. So VH23, and this is going to be for VPN number 17 Ospf. What is the router ID? I'll say something that I want to do device specific. Okay, maybe I'll pick up 2323 later. Router ID, external, internal routes, distance, etc. Do you want to redistribute something? What is that we want to redistribute? We want to redistribute by default static and connected are redistributed. So in this we want to redistribute OMP to Ospf. It's basically optional. I'm not going to do that right now. I'll say just leave it. Keep it globe, whatever, default. Right, so OMP by default, this connected are there. So leave it like that. Shows by default is connected and statics. Okay. Any routing policy, QoS map, route map, nothing. Area I have to configure. Area going to be 0. Area type is not stub or anything else, so just keep it like a default one, right? Stub and not stub, so stub area, we don't want to do that. And which interface you want to add to it. So I have to pick up the interface, which is GE01. I want to run it on it. Do you want to set up any of these values? There are advanced options also. If you want to do authentication, plain text and MD5, there are options available for it. For the time being, we'll just skip it. If you want to make it passive interface and what type of network it is. So all the Ospf parameters that you see on the CLI side in routers is also available here in the SD-WAN. Just say add, the interface is added, and add this configuration. Okay, all the advanced parameters of Ospf. We have not redistributed OMP into it, right? OMP into Ospf, I'll tell you why. And I'll say save, update. It will ask us the newly added value. So I'll just say router ID is 23.23.23.23. Date. Next. Let's see what is the configuration now. You see that VPN 17, there was nothing there, and in the previous config, and now it is Ospf plus interface configuration, and everything is there. The interface there, only the interface was there, no Ospf configuration. But right now we have configured this thing, but it doesn't. Let's check if OMP has anything. As of now, nothing really, right? It doesn't have advertise external routes of Ospf, etc. So I'll just say configure the device. I have terrible nose block actually from last week itself.
Oh, then you took medicine?
Yeah, I've been taking. This weather is changing, it's a little hot.
Yeah, you are in Bangalore, right?
Yes.
Bangalore is always bad for me. Like, I stayed there 6 months. Daily I have sneezes, I have cold. I don't know, weather isn't suit to me, the Bangalore weather.
Yeah.
Sir, you came back, sir?
Hello?
Sir, you came back?
No, I've not gone there, but international flights were banned. So 27 they're opening up now.
Okay, I thought you was in somewhere else, no? I thought you was out of India.
Yeah, that time I came back. But after that, I had a plan to go back again. So let's see this, guys.
Yeah.
We will go to the EVNG and we'll see if I'll go to VH18. You see that only one route is there. Why is that one route is there, guys? on VPN 18 side, this side, I only received this route from VH23. But why did I only receive this route? Why not the other routes? Because remember from previous configuration, the other routes were external routes. But we did not configure, if you look at our configuration right now, right, we did not configure anything for external routes through VManage, right? Let me show you that. Show run VPN 0. Sorry, VPN 17. We are running the Ospf on VPN 17, right? You see that here, this is the configuration and we did not do anything else. So what else has to be done? What else has to be done is that OMP configuration, right? OMP does not have advertise Ospf external, right? That's the reason the routes are not coming. Can I save it? No, because this device is now managed using VManage. So I cannot do this. Remember that before I was able to do it, I did this lab using that when we were doing CLI method. So how do we enable this feature in VManage? So let's go to device template again and we go to this again and edit. Where are we going to find that feature? It should be in VPN.
VPN 17.
OMP, it should be in VPN 0. Right? It should be here. VPN 0. This template, view template. Right? Here it is. This feature. But I cannot edit it here. Right? I have to go specifically to that. And then I have to do VPN 17 edge 23. So I'll go to feature. I'll go to templates, feature. And I'll say VPN edge 23, this one. And what do? We just say external routes. We have to start adding external routes. So Ospf external routes. Update. Say next, and now we will be able to see in OMP the new the command being added here. Right? Config difference side by side. Right? You see that? OMP, a new command has been added. The other commands were what? Default commands, so they are not visible here. So OMP, Ospf external, and then we'll go to this. And then quickly we'll also go to EVNG and we will go to VH18. And here, as soon as that configuration is done, we should be able to see these two networks are also available now. Why these two networks are available? Because they are external routes. They're advertised by the site 23 router behind. We did redistribute connected for those two loopbacks. And this loopback was what? Using network command. So it came on its own because by default it is allowed. And these you have to configure. Right? So both the methods. One method is CLI, we did that, and the other method we have done today is the VManage method. So guys, tomorrow we are going to do BGP, so that's all for today. And now I will discuss with you about how do you access your rack.